Well, new at noon, Tyson Foods Chief Financial Officer John Tyson is out of jail after an overnight arrest. Here's a look at his Washington County jail booking photo just into the 5 News newsroom. University of Arkansas police arrested Tyson on charges of driving while intoxicated, improper turn, and careless driving. He was booked into jail just after 1:30 this morning and released just over an hour ago. We are working to obtain the police incident report. And in a statement this afternoon, Tyson Foods tells 5 News it is aware of Tyson's arrest for alleged DWI, and he has been suspended from his duties. Kurt Calloway is acting as interim chief financial officer. Again, we are working to learn more about Tyson's arrest. Look for updates on our website, 5newsonline.com.
Mr. Tyson, hey bud, you turn around for me real quick. Hey, so just real question, okay? And I always ask people this.
Yes, sir.
How much have you had to drink tonight, man, at your sister's wedding?
This is.
And the reason I keep blaming to you is just it's officer safety. So we're gonna keep going in a circle if you keep getting right next to me. So just hang out right there, bud. So how much did you actually? You're good, man. I'm trying to get you in my field of view here. So how much do you actually have to drink?
Probably like 6 or 7 drinks since about 5:30 or 6.
Okay, so you drank earlier though. Was it like beer, liquor?
Beer.
Okay, perfect. What kind of beer?
Miller Lite.
Okay, that's different. You know, like IPAs, triple IPAs.
I understand.
Those are all different. Where was your sister's wedding at?
It's not until this weekend.
Oh, I thought that's where you guys came from. So
Well,
you come from Dixon Street?
Well, we had a lot of friends come in town this weekend that we
Gotcha.
were hosting.
Okay, nice. Okay.
Yeah.
So you guys were coming from Dixon Street? That's where you were at?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Where on Dixon Street were you? I saw her wristband. So
we were before this. We were at Maxine's. Our friends were at the hotel at the Graduate Hotel.
Okay.
And I was going home with my girlfriend back to my house.
Gotcha. Cool. Just go back over there, hang out for just a few more minutes. I'm trying to figure out a good solution for you guys. Okay.
Hey, can I ask a genuine preference, which is like, if I get in trouble tonight,
I understand,
my
sir.
life will be ruined.
And I understand that. Like I said, my goal in this job is not to ruin lives; it's to save lives.
Thank you.
And that's what I'm trying to take into account for. Okay. I don't want to ruin your life. I don't want to ruin hers. I want to save yours, save hers. I want to save everybody else on the road. Okay.
Thank you.
So that's my goal. So go hang out over there just 1 minute. I'll be right back.
Sir,
with
I'll
you.
be right.
Alrighty then, welcome back to the channel, everyone. As you can see, this is John Tyson. He's around 33, 34, somewhere in there. And he's the great-grandson of John, grandson of Don. And then his dad's name was also John. I think they just changed the middle names to keep him from being the juniors and thirds and all that stuff. But he's the current CFO of Tyson Foods, one of the largest food processors in the world. And he got pulled over, made a little driving mistake. Turns out he'd had a few beers and has to face the consequences. And I bring up his granddad, because I'm familiar with them. I lived over there for a few years back in the late 70s, early 80s. And if Don or his father John would have got pulled over back then for a DUI, I'm sure they probably did, it would have just gone unknown. You would have, it just would have gone unknown. But because of the day and age, and because of dash cams and body cams and transparency, thank God, that can't happen, and it just won't. As much as John here would like to think that it could, it just isn't. Now, he's respectful, and should be, because as you see here, a year ago, he went into someone else's house and passed out in their bed, absolutely blitzed the night before. I mean, he was really, really tied one on. Matter of fact, they had a hard time getting him. When they woke him up and told him he was in the wrong bed, he just pulled the covers back over his head. He looked up and saw a couple Fayetteville policemen, and just almost like in disbelief, and ignored him. So they had to handcuff him and haul him off in his underwear. I did a story on it. I've got a video somewhere in my library on it. He had to face the board of directors on that one, and I'm sure he doesn't want to have to face them again, but it is what it is. And the news clip that I put there indicated that he was temporarily suspended of his duties as CFO. And it's now July 23rd, and he did appear in court and plead not guilty. And I was waiting on the field sobriety test footage, and I'm assuming the reason it's not available because it's still a ongoing case. Now, once the case is resolved and a sentence is made, then that footage will become available. And when it does, we'll watch it. My guess is he doesn't appear to be, blitzed. He doesn't appear to be extremely intoxicated. He does end up doing a breathalyzer. And, it is what it is. He does drag this portion of the booking or the pre-breathalyzer test. He does drag it out quite a bit and almost overanalyzes it and questions it and has it read to him several times. This guy's not a dummy. He's not the CFO of Tyson's Foods. Just because, well, he is a Tyson, but there's other heirs that could take that position. And plus, the board of directors could change that if they wanted to. But he obviously is not a dummy, and so it didn't really need to be read to him. But you'll see as it goes, as they go through it, how he responds and how he acts. Anyway. All right. Hit that like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Help the channel out if you would. It's greatly appreciated. And let's, without further, let's get on with this DUI arrest of John Tyson, CFO of Tyson Foods.
The influence or driving or boating while there was an alcohol concentration of 0.02 but less than 0.08 in his or her breath or blood, or under 21, the person is under the age of 21 and is stopped by a law enforcement officer who has reasonable cause to believe that the underage person, while operating or in actual physical control of a motorboat on the waters of the state or a motor vehicle, is under the influence or has an alcohol concentration of 0.02 but less than 0.08 in his or her breath or blood. So, what I'm going to do, we're going to read each of these one at a time. If you understand it, I just need you to initial. If you don't understand it, ask me. I'm going to explain it to you where it's easier for you to understand, okay?
What happens if I don't understand it?
Then I'm going to try to explain it to you so you do understand.
And if I keep not understanding, what happens?
Well,
What? He said if I keep not understanding what happens. Really?
let's cross that bridge if we get to that, okay? Because these are pretty self-explanatory, but I'm going to make sure you do understand, okay? So that first one right there. If you refuse to take the test,
What's a chemical test?
It's the breath test. That's what, okay? So if you refuse to take a chemical test, which is the breath test that I'm offering, none will be given, but you will subject yourself to the penalties provided by law, which include, but is not limited to, the suspension or revocation of your driving privileges, and if you're a commercial driver's license holder, the disqualification of your commercial driving privilege. What that says is, if you refuse to take the test that I'm offering, none will be given. Can't force you to take any more tests. But you will subject yourself to the penalties provided by law, which would be, in this case, if you refuse a DWI and DWI refusal to submit to chemical tests, which is from your license when you signed it. You agreed to submit to a chemical test, okay? So that's what that's saying. Do you understand that?
Yeah. So my question is, if you're looking out for me, I think I should take that test.
I can't tell you what you should do. Remember, I can't give you any legal advice, okay?
Do you mind reading it again?
Absolutely. If you refuse to take the chemical test, none will be given. None will be given. But you will subject yourself to the penalties provided by law, which include, but is not limited to, the suspension or revocation of your driving privilege, and if you are a commercial driver's license holder, the disqualification of your commercial driving license. So if you understand that, if you'll just initial that for me.
So what are the implications if I say yes, we just take a test? If I say no, what happens?
That means you subject yourself to the penalties provided by law, which means you'll be charged with DWI, refusal to submit to chemical tests, and your license will be suspended. That's what that means.
So if I say yes, it means I get a chance to take a test.
Correct.
Okay, next test.
So next question there. If you choose to take a chemical test, so if you choose to take it and the results reflect an alcohol concentration of 800, 0.08 or more, or the presence of a controlled substance or any other intoxicant, your driving privilege will be disqualified, your driving privilege will be suspended or revoked, and if you are the holder of a commercial driver's license, your commercial driving privileges will be disqualified. So what that was saying is just what you just asked. If you choose to take the test and you are over 0.08, then you'll be charged with DWI and your license will be suspended or revoked. That's what that says.
Keep in mind, this is a University of Arkansas police officer. This is not a city police officer or state patrol or anything like this. It's actually university police. And you can tell he's a younger guy, and he's doing a good job. And he probably wishes he wasn't in this position either. I mean, look, cops don't go out there looking to put themselves in this position, but yet it's their duty to, pull a vehicle over if they see, signs of impairment or a traffic violation, what have you. And it looks like there was 2 traffic violations committed, which, was initiated the stop in the first place. And also, 30 years ago, damage control would be already notified and be taking place, and this wouldn't even be available to the public. I promise you that. All right, let's get back to it.
So if you understand that, if you'll initial that one for me. I don't think you have a commercial vehicle, but we're still going to read it, okay? If you choose to take a chemical test and the results reflect an alcohol concentration of 400, 0.04 or more, or the presence of a controlled substance or any other intoxicant for a violation occurring in a commercial vehicle, your commercial driving privilege will be disqualified. Under 21, still doesn't apply to you, but I'm going to read it anyways. If you are under the age of 21 and you choose to take a chemical test and the results reflect an alcohol concentration of 200, 0.02, but less than 800, 0.08, your driving privilege would be suspended or revoked. So now this is the last one. Let's pay attention to this one, okay?
I'm listening.
Hang on. Do you need any of the other keys on your keychain, for your car keys?
I have.
Or are you good until you get tomorrow?
I'm good till tomorrow. I have one for my.
He's good for till tomorrow. Okay, so let's read this last one, okay?
Does that mean I'm fucked?
Well, we haven't got there yet. Right now, we're still going through the process, okay?
Can I ask some advice?
He's good. He does not need them. 1 second. Let's read this next one, okay? If you take the chemical test requested by law enforcement, you may also, at your own expense, have a physician, registered nurse, lab technician, or other qualified person of your choice administer an additional test. The arresting law enforcement agency will assist you in obtaining such a test. If you choose to have an additional test and are later found not guilty of a violation of the Omnibus DWI or BWI Act or the underage DUI or BUI law for this arrest, the arresting law enforcement agency will reimburse you for the cost of the additional test. What that says right there is, say you don't like the results of this. I have to offer you a second test if you want one. If you want a blood test, which is voluntary, you can do it we'll go down to Washington Regional or the clinic down there. You'll have to pay for it out of pocket. If you're later found not guilty, we'll reimburse you for the cost that you paid for that test. Does that make sense?
It does.
Okay, so if you'll initial that, if you understand that.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Like, what if I were to just, pause on this and chill for a while?
It doesn't work like that. It's either we've got to get through this, or it starts to look more like a refusal. So, if you understand that, what I just read to you, if you'll initial that you understand.
Do you mind reading it again?
If you take the chemical test requested by law enforcement, you may also, at your own expense, have a physician, registered nurse, lab technician, or other qualified person of your choice administer an additional chemical test. The arresting law enforcement agency will assist you in obtaining such a test. If you choose to have an additional test and are later found not guilty of the violation of the Omnibus DWI or BWI Act or the underage DUI BUI law for this arrest, the arresting law enforcement agency will reimburse you for the cost of the additional test.
Yes and no. What about the next one?
We're not there yet. Do you understand that?
But what happens after this?
We're going to get to that, but we got to do it one thing at a time. Did you understand what I read to you?
I do, but I'm questioning if I say yes or no.
I'm not offering you a test or anything. That's just saying you understand it. That you can take a voluntary blood test out of pocket and you'll get paid back if you're later found not guilty. That's all that says. So I need you. If you understand that, just initial that.
What if I say I don't understand it?
Do you honestly don't understand it, or do you really?
I don't know. I'm trying to protect myself.
I understand that, but I mean, do you really not understand it, or are you just trying to delay it? That's what I'm trying to.
I'm not trying to delay it.
Okay, so let me explain this one more time. We do this test. Say you agree to take this test. You don't like the results. That last thing that I just read to you is saying you can also have an additional test on your own, which means I will facilitate that. I will take you down to Washington Regional, wherever, to get a blood test if you want to do a blood test. If you had to pay for it out of pocket, if you're later found not guilty, our department will reimburse what you paid for that test. That's all that's saying. Okay, so this next one. Do you understand the parts of the rights? So everything that I just read to you right there, do you understand that?
What happens if I say no?
Do you really not understand it, though?
I don't know, man. You understand the situation I'm in.
I understand that, but
I
get that. But I mean, do you honestly not understand it, or do you really understand it? You're just saying no.
It's a lot of legal language.
Well, I try to explain it the best that I can. And
I know, but it's a lot of legal language.
And that's what the way that they have it written is made to where it's supposed to be understandable. Yeah, so if you understand what I said to you, then I just need you to initial yes.
I think I do, but like my issue is it's a lot of legal language, and I'm like, I don't want to volunteer myself for trouble.
Well, I haven't offered you a test or anything. That's just saying that you understood what I wrote to you, or what I read to you. Basically, what it comes down to is, like I said, if you agree to take the test and you blow .08 or higher, you're going to be charged with a DWI and your license will be suspended. If you refuse the test, I will not offer you any more tests, but you'll subject yourself to the penalties provided by law, which will be a charge of DWI, refusal to submit to chemical tests, and your license will be suspended. If you take the test and you don't like the results, you can also, at your own expense, have a nurse, lab technician, physician, or whatever, do a blood draw. That's voluntary. That's your decision. You will pay for that out of pocket. I will facilitate taking you there. If you're later go through court and you're found not guilty, our department will pay for the reimbursement that you paid for that test. That's all those they're saying.
Can I ask your opinion? If I thought I was going to come in .08 or under, what should I do?
I can't tell you, sir. That's legal. I can't tell you that. All I need to know is, do you understand what I just read to you? If you
do.
Okay, will you initial yes if you do?
I feel like you're forcing me to.
I'm not, but we can't be here for hours. That's what I'm trying to understand. So that's why I want to make sure.
I feel like I'm being coerced into signing this.
Now you're wasting time. What you're doing, this is non-incriminating stuff. You either comprehend and understand what it says or you don't. This is not incriminating at all. Now, DUI lawyers always say, do not submit to anything. That's a personal thing. I don't drink, so I would submit to it. And if it came wrong, then I would go get a blood draw. If I knew that I didn't have alcohol. If I knew that I'd been drinking, I'd probably take my chances on it. Because good DUI lawyer, if you just keep your mouth shut and quit going through this kind of garbage and take your test, can probably get things resolved for you. I don't know what his record is. I don't know if he has previous or not. All right. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe and stuff. There's not much left here.
All I'm saying is, if you don't understand it, you don't want to.
Is this being recorded? I feel like I'm being coerced.
Okay.
I feel like I'm being coerced.
Okay. So let me see this one more time. See the pen. So I'm circling. The test chosen by officer is a breath test, which is this machine right here. It's over here on this side. Same thing. Now I'm asking you, will you take the test? Yes or no?
What happens if I say no?
Then remember I read that to you. If you say no, you'll subject yourself to the penalties provided by law, which would include charge with a DWI, suspended. That's what happens if you refuse.
I'll do it.
Okay, so I can just need you to sign right there for me, sir. Okay. So just have it.
Is there any reason you let me sit for like 30 minutes, and then I can try?
Well, you have been sitting.
I know, but would you let me sit for a little longer?
I'll let you sit probably for like another 5 to 10 minutes.
I appreciate that.
Yep.
I understand.
But unfortunately, it's like I can't sit here, for like an hour.
I get
You
it.
know,
I get it.
it's just not. It's not reasonable.
I get it.
I'm gonna turn this off for a minute.
My life is over, man.
I don't know, sir. I don't know what all you got to do in life, but I don't think that this is gonna ruin people's lives.
No, I promise you. I understand you're doing your job, and I have no disrespect for it.
Well, I just want you to know my goal is not to ruin your life.
I understand.
Okay, so
I don't take it personally.
I know.
I know it's on me, man.
Well, I just want you to know that's like I'm not out to get you.
I get
Okay,
it.
at all.
I get it. I've had some hard times around this place, man.
I am sorry to hear that.
Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah, it's got to suck to be you, John. Yeah, grandson of Don, son of John Sr. The difference is you have to deal with transparency and the era you're growing up in. I promise you, if your grandfather would have had to deal with the same transparency, we'd know him for more than just the food processing tycoon that he became, all starting with chickens, Tyson Foods back. Anybody that's over 50 years old remembers Tyson Foods was just a big chicken processor, and they became the growers, one of the biggest in the world. And of course, they own Jimmy Dean and Hillshire Farms, and I don't know how many different they bought out, but they're the largest processor in the world, no doubt. Anyway, yeah, it's got to suck to be you, little Johnny Silver Spoon boy. You'll get through it, though, Bound. You will.
I hope it works out. I hope I come in underneath .08, but I don't know.
So, like I said, you gotta say seed for me, okay? So, like I said, keep this away from your mouth when you're inhaling. When you're ready, bring it to your mouth and blow into it like a balloon. More. There you go. Keep going, just like that. Keep going. Go. Perfect. Good. Okay, you can stop.
Last time I came here, I stayed here until 9 p.m. on Sunday, so it's whatever. If you could just help me get out of here.
Yes, sir.
earlier,
I will.
rather than later.
I will talk with them. Yes, sir. Like I said, this is not my department. I don't have that say, but I will definitely.
I understand.
I will definitely do what I can.
I understand.
All right, sir. So your final result, .191. So if you have a seat for me real quick. Do you want another test at your own expense? Like I said, this would be if you wanted a urine test, if you wanted a blood test. Do you want another one at your own expense?
What does that get for me?
The blood test and urine test is basically it's gonna anything in your system. I will say that because it's urine and blood. So, but it's.
But that's a .191.
Yes, sir.
Which is over .08.
Yes, sir. So it's your decision if you want another test.
So if I say I don't want to test, what happens?
Nothing. For me asking you if you want a secondary, it's on you. There's no repercussions if you say you don't want another one.
And if I say I do want one, what happens?
You just have to tell me, do you want blood or urine? If you want blood, we'll take you back to either Washington Regional or the Fayetteville Clinic. We'll do your blood. We'll bring you back here. You're still going to be charged with a DWI for tonight, though, just based upon my test. But it's your decision, sir, if you want another
I'm not
one.
really sure I understand the difference between like doing it or not doing it.
If you choose not to do it, there's no other violation. I'm not gonna stack anything on you or do anything like that. It's just saying voluntarily, if you want another test, you have the right to ask for another test. But it'd either be blood or urine, or if you really want, we can do another BAC test or another breath test. It's your option on which one you want to do. This part of it, it says right here, Part 2 to be completed by officer when all the subject has taken having taken the officer's test, you have the right to an additional test or test to be determined for alcohol, controlled substances, or other intoxicants of your blood. Do you want another test at your own expense? That's all it's saying. It's just you have the right to request another one if you want one.
I'm fine.
Okay. So I'm going to
My preference would be to get process as soon as possible.
So I just need you to initial no, and then sign right there in the bottom left, please.
At 10 right now, Tyson Foods heir and executive John Tyson is pleading not guilty to DWI. He was arrested back in June in Fayetteville. He served as Tyson Foods chief financial officer since 2022, and he was immediately suspended after he was arrested. He's back in court later this month.
Well, while I'm being booked and processed downtown, we have time for one more classic of American literature. This one's about idiots choking rodents. I give you Of Mice and Men.
Read him his rights.
You know what? I'd like to read them myself. Chapter 1. Eat my ass, pigs. Ah, the bones in my nose!
I'm telling you, boy. You want to try to see this? Boy, I'm trying to you don't. I'm saying this, I'm walking my goddamn truck. Alright then, that's what I'm talking about. Like you new, buddy. I'm telling you new, man.
Jesse, don't go! Jesse, no!
I'm sorry, Daisy, but I'm a loner, and a loner's gotta be alone.
Ha!